Kevin and I actually, oddly enough, went to the same high school. He moved in when he was in 7th grade, and we knew each other sort of in high school. I knew him as this really kind of cool guy that wore his jacket off his shoulder, and all these really cool things, but we didn't really know each other. We just knew of each other. So it was really funny the way our wives met when they were in physical therapy school in Lexington, that my wife came home talking about this person from Carlisle County, and I was like, well, then I probably know these people, and it was Mary and Kevin.
I knew kind of Jared in school, but didn't really have any kind of relationship. Probably talked to him a little bit, here and there, and just kind of knew he was a basketball player and all that kind of stuff. But so it was kind of weird when we actually started hanging out together, because like I said, I just didn't really know him, and always thought he was kind of goofy in high school and that kind of thing. So, but but they were just fun. Like Jared and Sarah were just fun. I mean, we had no idea about their spiritual background or what they believed, and didn't really care. I didn't really think when I met somebody, hey, do you have it just wasn't what I really thought about. I didn't grow up in church. I went randomly with grandparents, or when my mom remarried and we moved to Carlisle County, we went every once in a while. I guess the view of God that I had was, I don't know I don't know if I had a view of God. I guess you kind of grow up and you see stuff on TV and that kind of thing. So it was all kind of fairy tale-ish to me, really, like the stories in the Bible and all that kind of stuff.
My biggest difficulty in talking with Kevin was that I didn't know how to talk to another guy about those personal things anyway. It was very difficult as males to broach a really serious topic like, what do you really believe about God? We didn't want to destroy our friendship. We cared so much about Mary and Kevin having it was 5 or 6 years long that we've spent just being friends with them, that we were really scared that we might lose them as friends if we broached this serious topic and went that next step. Probably into a year into them regularly coming to the journey, I think I realized at that point that I just wanted to kind of, one, build our friendship, and two, just maybe challenge Kevin's faith a little bit in terms of what he was thinking. And a lot of the questions that we raised in our conversations were things that, I was like, Kevin, I don't know. For Kevin, he really asked me a lot about, how do you know the facts? How do you know that this is what happened, in creation, and how do you know these things happen? And I told him, I said, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a scientist. I don't in the know. I said, if you want to study that, we can. But I said, I know that what God has done in my life is real, but the most important thing was that Jesus does something in your life. And these other questions, they're things to be explored. You're never going to find the end of who God is in those questions.
That was a turning point, that I was so focused on all these answers and all these facts, all this stuff that you asked is that real? What about that? Or what about, and all this stuff that I felt I needed to know. Really, I didn't. It took me a while to accept that I don't need to know those things. Really, those aren't that important.
And then getting to baptize Kevin was one of the highlights. To be a part of that symbolism was really important to me, to be there, and it was really cool. And I know you felt the same thing with Skylar.
Yeah, I did. I really did. And I was a little nervous about baptizing her and all that kind of stuff, but it was really cool to just have that experience, and to think back of the relationship with Jared, and then him baptizing me, and that was emotional, and then me being able to do the same thing with Skylar. That is an awesome experience to really have that chance.
Something I never dreamed happening.
Oh yeah, I'm in a spot in my life that if you would have said, Kevin, if somebody came from the future and said, this is what you're going to be believing, this is where you're going to be, and this is the people you're going to have in your life. If somebody came to me 5 years ago and told me that, I was like, no, that's ridiculous. I'm not going that way at all, But here I am, and this is where I'm supposed to be.
things you hope for and you don't believe are realities or could become realities. And that's what makes the God we serve so amazing, is that really the things deep in us in our heart that we desire to see happen are not these things that we often talk about as dreams, but the things when they happen that you really do dream about. It's like pulling blinders away from your eyes and really seeing the truth of what the amazing thing about God is. It's the most thrilling experience to see people you love come to know the God that loves them.